Sakshat Goswami Vedantirati Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Shima
I have some already probably cooking on the side.
Oh, I think this just did it. For some reason, hitting mute and unmute just did it. Now it's doing it. Okay, great. Chandra-brantim Spuradamalakantim Gajagatim Hari Premurmatam Jita Paramasadvam Sita Bhutam Sadaguna Necham Kalita Necham Kalividam Bhajanityananda Vajanataru Siravadi Kasana Magara Swajanagala Sarvaswamachula Sahiaika Prana Patima Vashula Nana Vapati Sada Premanana Paramavidita Mandramanasa Vajinitananda Vajanatarugantam Niravadi Sachisunu Krishna Ila Jaganishtam Sukamaya Kalo Vajajiva Chidanakarano Namakaruna Ayagyanaka Vamajalika Lonatihara Vajinitananda Vajanatarukantam Niravadi Ahebratanirnam Kalikalushiram Kim Nivadita Tajapayashita Lakshayayamana Yansvaine Vajantitarita Sarabhagavata Manchayatito Vajinitananda Vajanatarukantam Niravadi Yatishame Braja Guru Hari Hari Dvanamanisha Tattva Samsara Vicharanaya Yo Hari Hari Idam Bhalusvate Akatinataya Nyamati Vita Vajinitananda Vajanakaru Kandam Niramani Satam Shreya Siddha Siddha Samadita Harishini Surja Kimirana Surya Pamana Vajinitananda Vajanataru Kandam Niravadi Nasatukayanta Mayamanuvada Sampatipati Rajatam Pasyantam Savatinaranyam Taranana Bhagavatam Shantam Sataranajiran Sampakamana Vajinitananda Vajanataru Kandam Niravadi Chavachaloto Chavita Paramanandayanoya Brahman Sampradaya Ahamadaya Champarachana Vajinitananda Vajanataru Kandam Niravadi Rasanamajara Rasika Varasa Vishmagadana Rasagaram Patitatam Paramitananda Sakarino Purnamatiya Salanidam Suratanitaram Tasya Vijoye Vajanitananda Vajanataru Kandam Niravadi Jayanitanandaram Jayanitanandaram Initiation is not right now, then you're gonna miss. You're not gonna be able to come to class. Tell them he missed his opportunity. You can take a look at it. Next page. After this last. Which one is it? Page 270. Two 70.
They're answering their phones, right? They're answering their phones, right? So it's all over.
Thank you. Went together.
Did you want to sing something?
His sublime body is brilliant with a golden hue, and he incessantly performs pastimes, overwhelmed by transcendental moods, the Bhava Sushmati Radhika. A minute particle of his mercy purifies all the three worlds. I offer pranam to the beautiful son of Mother Sachi.
Within his heart, the transformations of bhavs cause his voice to falter. His great roar strikes terror into the hearts of the atheists, and his compassion nullifies the fear evoked by mundane existence. I offer pranam to the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He wears cloth, the saffron hue of the rising sun, and his cheeks are charming. His fingernails and toes radiate a brilliance that eclipses the glory of the full moon, and he receives immense bliss by performing the kirtan of his own names and virtues. I offer pranam to the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. Streams of tears flow from his lotus eyes. His body is adorned with ever-new transformations of bhav, and in his pastimes of dance, his movements flow most gently. I offer pranam to the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. The restless movements of his beautiful feet are very attractive. Those two sweet feet, are adorned with delightful tinkling ankle bells. His cooling face reproaches the moon. I offer pranam to the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. Around his waist he wears a cloth belt for kopins, and he holds a kamandalu and a danda. His divine body is crowned with a shaven head. With his danda he vanquishes the sins of the wicked. I offer pranam to the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. His curling locks of hair are ornamented by the dust of the earth, which rises as he dances, and his captivating lips, crimson like bimba fruit, quiver. His body is adorned with bright tilak made of Malaya sandalwood. I offer pranam to the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. The shape of his eyes challenges the elongated form of a reddish lotus petal. His beautiful arms extend down to his knees, and his form is graced with the attire of a youthful dancer. I offer pranam to the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. Sachidananda Gaura Hari Jai.
75. You want the mic stand? No, it's good. Ave Shri Chaitanya Mole, Kori Venatoya, Kave Ami Vaibo Vais, Nava Padachaya. Ave Shri Chaitanya Mole, Kori Venatoya. When will Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestow his mercy upon me? When will I attain the shade of his lotus feet of the Vaishnavas? When will I renounce my identity as the enjoyer? When will I honor the Vaishnavas? With a cloth around my neck, my hands folded, and a straw between my teeth, I shall stand before the Vaishnavas free of duplicity. Bitterly weeping, I shall relay all my miseries and beg for relief from the blazing fire of material existence. When the venerable Vaishnavas hear of my sufferings, they will appeal to Sri Krishna profusely on my behalf. In response to the Vaishnavas' prayers, the all-merciful Sri Krishna will become compassionate upon this wicked person. Bhakti Vinod prays to the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. Be merciful and take this destitute person into your association.
Oh my god. We gotta get that. We
Yeah.
gotta get that off. Are you
Say mantra.
We have to do
Hare Krishna?
Page 122. Hari Hari Kave Mo Purive Sudhina Vajivo Shri Radha Krishna Oya Premanina Hari Hari Kave Mo Purive Sudhina Vajivo Shri Radha Krishna Oya Premanina Yantre Mashaya Namo Sumadhurya Anande Kori Rupa Gulana Sumadhurya The youthful divine hope. O Hari, when will the auspicious day be mine, when I will serve Sri Sri Radha Krishna, being controlled by prema? Accompanied by musical instruments, I will sing sweet melodies. In great bliss, I shall perform songs that glorify the form and qualities of the divine couple. While singing Radhika Govinda, I will weep loudly, and my entire body will become soaked by the tears from my eyes. O Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatan Goswami, O Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, O Sri Jiva Goswami, my life and soul, be merciful to me now. O Lalita and Vishaka, O Sri Ram, Subal, and other friends in Sakyabhav, be merciful to me now. All of you together, please be merciful and let my desires be fulfilled. Narottam Das constantly prays in this way. Keep chanting until she's done.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Vivo! Here you go.
Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana-salakaya Chakshur-militam Jena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadave Krishnaya Krishna-vataya Bhagavata Namo Namaha Yam Parajantam Anapekrityam Dvaipayano Vidavakratayavachivama Putre Tritam Mayayam Sarvabhumanenush Tang Sarvabhutamidayam Purnima Nachosmi Bhaktya-vihina Parayalakshai Chiptastra-kamari-tarangamani Kripa-mayi Tvam Sharanam Prapadam Brinde Namaste Charanaravindam Tadevasmi Tadevasmi Najivam Vitam Vinam Iti Vigyayagari Tam Nayanam Charanantike. To offer my heartfelt obeisances unto my beloved Holy Master, into the Shoma Shripad Suksa Chishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Raj. Also into the Shoma Shripad Suksa Chishimad Bhaktivedanta Bharti Gosai Raj, into the Shoma Shripad Suksa Chishimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to our entire Rupa Nilama Varga, our guardians on this path of devotion, and to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Happy Gaura Purnima. Super duper auspicious day. So we've been on Purnima. How's everybody's feet?
So messed up and dirty.
One time after Gaura Purnima, Krishna and I had this rare, it's a whole story, but we ended up with Gurudev, and he asked us, "How are your feet? Are they burning?" And he was worried that they were too hot. The roads are very hot in Navadvip. So Navadvip Dham Purnima is extremely exalted and important. There's a school of thought that people say that Jagannath Puri is higher than Navadvip because in Puri, Mahaprabhu is having so many ecstatic symptoms. His body is becoming detached. His limbs are, and his bones is just like down to bone, and he's foaming at the mouth. He mystically escapes from the Gambhira, even though it's locked. He gets found, in madness, floating down the ocean. But Gurudev has clearly explained and proven that Srinavadip Dham is the highest because it's not different from Vrindavan. All the forests of Vrindavan, as we were hearing this week, are in Navadvip. So we're blessed to have gone there by our rocket ship. And so today we have a few speakers this morning. We'll start with childhood pastimes first. We'll go in order if we can. I think, Jamila, you're doing childhood pastimes, right?
Me?
Yeah. So, are you talking about his birth at all?
No.
Okay. So just
talking about him as a young boy.
Nimai, Chai, and you have a Nimai pastime.
No.
Oh yeah, you're doing tomorrow. Oh yeah, she's doing tomorrow. Your initiation. Your humility.
So
Later. And Haridas is later also. So yeah. So anytime you're speaking with me, that's fine.
Not this morning. I can potentially.
Okay. No? Okay. So just briefly, I was gonna speak tomorrow as well. But we have this beautiful song that we get to sing tonight. And maybe we can read it before we sing it. That is this whole birth, during the Abhishek, we sing the birth Leela from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Mahaprabhu was born, it was an eclipse. And on eclipse, everyone goes and bathes in the Ganga. So everyone's bathing in the Ganga and everybody's chanting. And our dearmost Nimai appeared. And everyone's chanting, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And then after that, whenever Mahaprabhu would cry, if he would hear the word Hari Bol, he wouldn't cry. So everyone was just in ecstasy of Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So Mahaprabhu was created a madness, and as we know, he is the originator of the Sankirtan movement, and it's like that for even now. We're in Mahaprabhu's Leela, and so when we're out there in this crazy place in Maya Ami, and when we see people, we're chanting Hari Bol, they want to also chant Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So we're very Harinam, super ecstatic, very also impressed with the Harinam party going out every day. It's been really amazing. And after Nimai was born, Dvaitacharya's consort, Sita Devi, she comes on the palanquin herself personally with so many gifts. And so all the villagers, everyone's bringing so many gifts for Nimai. And so we'll start with Jamuna with Navadvip pastimes. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to present Jamuna Devi Dasi's debut.
Yes, we did. No pressure.
We're just family. Oh wait, we should probably turn that.
I'd first like to offer my obeisances to my Diksha and Shiksha Guru Devs, Diksha Guru Dev Shri Shripad Bhaktivedanta Siddhanta Maharaj and Shiksha Guru Dev Shri Srimati Shamani Didi, to all the assembled Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. So, Nimai was very mischievous. When Nimai was a young boy, he used to go down in the Ganga with his friends, and he would play water sports and splash. and also use the splashing as an excuse to splash water from his lotus feet onto all of his friends, all of his associates. And as he was down at the Ganga, he would play many games, and also he would be mischievous with all of the Brahmins and Vaishnavis going down there to bathe. He would contaminate them, and by touching them after they would bathe, or by spitting on them. And no one was able to catch him though, because he was so fast. He would just like go around and contaminate them. Swim away. He was fastest swimmer. And there was one time when the Brahmins were fed up with it, and so they went to his father to complain, Mishra, and said, he splashes water on us. He doesn't allow us to perform our ablutions properly. He says, who are you meditating on? In this Kali Yuga, I am directly Lord Narayan himself. He stole my Shiva Linga, they said. He ran away with my outer clothes. One person said, I prepared this offering for Lord Vishnu. I had all this paraphernalia, and I went to go take a bath, and when I came back, Nimai was sitting in Lord Vishnu's seat. He ate the offering and threw everything else away. And then he said, why are you feeling so sad? The Lord of your worship himself has eaten your offering. Also at the same time, many young girls would go to Sachi Devi, and they would say, he steals our clothes. He uses foul language, and he splashes water on us. We bring fruits and flowers to Ganga, and he scatters and spoils everything. He waits for us to finish bathing, and then he throws sand on us. Everything that your son is doing is exactly like that Gopal Krishna did. We've heard stories about Gopal. And Shachi Devi, she just smiled and she hugged them and said, okay. When I come home, I will tie him up and I will beat him. And so that he can never go out and bother anyone. The girls were satisfied with that and paid the ablutions and pranams and went back to the river. And of course we know that with these pastimes, everyone was actually experiencing great bliss to be around Nimai. So Nimai was down by the river and he knew that Shri Mishra was looking for him and he was in a state of rage. And the young girl started to take pity on him and says, Nimai, your father's coming, he's very angry. You should run away. And Nimai told his friends, he was very clever, he says, tell my father that I was not down by the river today. Tell him that I didn't come down to bathe with him. And so in the meantime, Nimai ran down another street, and meanwhile his father comes out, and the Brahmins knew, Brahmins told him that your son ran home in fear. And then they told him, actually, those complaints that we made were out of fun. You were very fortunate. Nimai is the supreme personality of Godhead. Nimai is the most worshipful deity. Nimai is the Supreme Lord himself. You are so very fortunate to have him as his son. And then his father says, Nimai is a son to all of you. If you should take difference to his offense, then I am bound to you by oath. I beg your forgiveness.
Where is this from?
This is the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So Nima is coming home down another road, and they see that he's covered in dust and ink. And Sasachi thought, oh, he couldn't have gone to bathe. He's wearing the clothes that he was wearing this morning. He's covered in dust. He's covered in ink. And when Nimai came up to speak to his mother, he says, I'm falsely accused. My friends were down there. I didn't go down to the river. Falsely accused. So then he goes back to the Ganga, and his friends all praise him. And they go, oh, good job, you evaded your angry father, and you evaded getting beaten. You evaded a beating. They would all praise him. And then Sachi Devi and Mishra were back at the house, and they were confused. They thought, obviously, these people didn't lie to us, obviously, that he was down at the river. But he was covered in ink and dust, and they were just perplexed. They didn't know. And it was at that moment that they said, I think our Vishwambar is not an ordinary person. Perhaps Sri Krishna, by his internal potency, has appeared in our house as our son, or perhaps he is a saintly person. I don't know. But then, by seeing their son, their hearts filled with tender affection, and nothing else mattered. And that's how the pastime is.
Okay, good. Okay, this was your first time, so we'll let you go, half reading. But everybody else has spoken before, so the rule is 1% of the talk can be reading. Very good, thank you. But this camera needs, who's ever using the camera needs to focus it on the person who's speaking. Not that you see 20 people and you only see the profile or the back of the person who's speaking. Okay. Also, the camera can be lower because it's getting an area of view. Who's in charge of the camera?
Very nice.
I just wanted to speak something short on Gaura Purnima and also Gaura Gadadhar. So I was hearing from one article from Srila Sridhar Maharaj about some of the astrological phenomenon of this Gaura Purnima day. It's just interesting to note that Krishna is born on the dark half fortnight of the moon, Krishna Astami, and Radha is born on the light half fortnight of the moon, Radha Astami. And because Mahaprabhu is the combined form of both of them, when he comes, he steals Radharani's mood and Kanti, complexion, and when he steals it from her, she doesn't have it anymore. So the halves of the moon combine and become Gaura Purnima moon, and that's why Gadadhar is born on an Amavasya, on a new moon, where there's.
You say she doesn't have it.
Well, no, she always has it, but just in this Leela is what I was reading.
Wait, what are you reading?
It was Sridhar Maharaj's explanation on Gaura
So
Purnima.
that she lost what?
Well, that Krishna stole her mood and her complexion, and that's why she came on an Amavasya as Gadadhar, and he combined both of their halves of the moon as Gaura Purnima moon, full moon. And then so that just reminded me of a story in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya
Can I
Leela.
just stop you there?
Yes.
Microphone? There was a whole. Why did I touch my ear? After I had
Oh.
the cup in my hand?
Gum.
Gum,
To
gum, gum,
purify.
because Ganges River is in the right ear, so I purified my hand. That came from Srila Bharati. Okay, so Srila Sridhar Maharaj said that she might, anyway, there was a big controversy. Some people were saying that when Mahaprabhu, when Krishna stole Radharani's mood, what is her mood? Left wing. Right?
Yes.
And Chandravali is right wing. So when Radharani lost her mood, she became Gadadhar. Because Gadadhar is very humble, never feisty. So he was just saying that. I'm telling you what Srila Gurudev said.
Yeah.
Srila Sridhar Maharaj was saying that for an unqualified audience. Because if she loses her mood, what is she now in Goloka Vrindavan? Yeah, that means she didn't lose her mood. Krishna could never steal her mood. He had to ask her, he had to pray to her, can I borrow your mood and your mood and
Complexion.
your luster or complexion. And then she told him, this is in a lecture in Wales, she told him, yes, you can borrow it, but I'm going to have to go with you because you won't be able to just do it on your own. So I'm going to go with you and I'm going to bring Lalita, my associates Lalita and Vishaka. They will be Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar. We're all going to have to help you out. We gave this example the other day from Srila Gurudev. Like, who here can I imitate? Should I use you, Haridas? Okay, I'm trying to imitate Haridas, chanting japa at the SVA. Diddy diddy rum rum, rum rum diddy diddy. And he says,
Yeah.
no, you didn't get it right. It's schnickety schnickety schnick schnick schnick. So I can try to imitate you, but I can't take your mood. You're still there. I'm trying, but you're still there and showing me. Because Gadadhar Pandit, sometimes from behind the curtain, he did a better version when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting Barahar Vitam Madhavadavapu, and he was getting faint and he was weeping, hair standing on end, but Gadadhar did it better. That, like Gurudev gave the kind of analogy of pulling the ear. No, that's not right. But he didn't really pull the ear because Radhika, if she were to act feisty like Radhika, then Krishna would forget to play Radhika. He would again think he's Krishna. So in order to help him play her role, she was acting in a more humble way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there was a whole big controversy like that. And then, I think because they were also quoting Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and then Gurudev said, he said that to a particular audience. Because I don't know if it's the same speech Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave, but is it? You can tell me.
I'm not sure.
Now she's in a piteous state, but because that mood is hers, she'll soon get it back. Is that there in the same?
I didn't read that part.
Okay, so, but that's only for unqualified people. Gurudev said to think that she lost her left wing mood and now she's right wing like Rukmini is bogus, and so bogus. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Yeah.
Thank you for explaining.
Microphone? I'm just wondering, like, when do,
Wait, you need a microphone.
so when does Mahaprabhu experience that left wing mood? Because mostly we see that he's in the mood of crying in separation and like in viraha. So because it's not that Milan of like Radha and Krishna meeting in Nikunja, then how is it like he's mostly in separation? So when does he display the left wing mood of Srimati Radhika?
Well, he's also in the mood of a bhakta. And he's not a bhakta, he's always the Supreme Lord. But showing the example to us, but then also when he's undergoing his ecstatic like fits of ecstasy. So, and he's also meditating all day on the Astakaliya Lila of Radha and Krishna, according to the time of day. But he's not the Krishna. He's meditating it, thinking of himself as Radhika. But he doesn't get like feisty and yell or anything. Except one time, I mean maybe a lot of times, but one time was when he was chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And this is before he took sannyas. He was chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And some of his students became angry. Why are you chanting Gopi? You have to chant Krishna. He's the Supreme Lord. And so Mahaprabhu took a stick and ran after Krishna's a rascal. And then they got very angry and they wanted to retaliate. And then he was thinking, this is in chapter 17 of Chaitanya Charitamrita, that I came here to deliver the world, but if they're going to be offensive to me, then I'm doing the opposite. I'm entangling people. But if I take sannyas, then they'll all respect me, because nobody can disrespect a sannyas, and that was, externally one of the reasons he took sannyas. Is that sort of an answer? Okay. Yeah.
I have a question. Is the last pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita with that Mahaprabhu is seeing, living in, where the gopis are in the water, and would that be considered within left wing? Like there's some fight, they're fighting Krishna.
Yeah, when he goes into unconsciousness, then he's seeing himself in the pastimes, either as a gopi or as a manjari. Like there's one where when they were picking flowers and he was assisting them in picking flowers, when he jumps in the water, what happened? He was absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna on the side of Radharani. He said, why did you wake me up? I was enjoying. So, yeah, does that help? Okay. So you can finish. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no.
Yes, I did.
That was good. Thank you. Yeah, so just in that Gaura Gadadhar connection, there was one Leela in Chaitanya Bhagavat that it made me think of. It's really sweet and I like it a lot. It's from Madhya Kanda chapter 2. And this is just after Mahaprabhu received Harinam, I believe, from Ishwar Puri in Gaya. And so he was coming back and chanting incessantly, and he started his Sankirtan party, and he was just in bliss chanting the Mahamantra all the time. And then one day he was like crying out, "Where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? Where's Krishna?" And Gadadhar was there. I think it was at maybe Srivas Prabhu's house or someone's house, and or Sachi Mata's house. And Gadadhar, well, actually, before that, he was like actually freaking out his mom, Mother Sachi, with his behavior. She was like, I don't recognize my son right now. He's acting really different than I am used to. And so she actually got scared and couldn't even approach him properly to soothe him as a mother would a son. And so Gadadhar was there and he listened to Gauranga, and Gauranga was saying, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And Gadadhar said, don't you know? Krishna is in your heart. So why do you freak out like this?
You don't have to use the word freaking out.
Okay. Why do you feel so distressed? Better word. And so when Mahaprabhu heard Gadadhar say that Krishna is in his heart, he was like, oh, really? And so he started to claw at his chest and pierce with his nails his heart, trying to get Krishna out. And Mother Sachi saw from afar and she's like, oh no. And Gadadhar also was astonished and just quickly grasped his hand and soothed him and said, no, like, it's fine. Krishna's in your heart. He's also everywhere. You don't need to act like this. And Sachimata saw from afar how well Gadadhar Pandit was allaying and soothing Gauranga, that she went up to Gadadhar and said, even I couldn't understand his moods and soothe him like this, but you did, and I'm so happy. So please never leave the side of my son. Always be there for him. And so he was. The end.
Thank you,
Jay. Gadadhar?
Yeah, the
But
gopi
is
gopi
the-
was fine. I mean, I can tell too, but I'm gonna repeat
His passing was Gopi, Gopi, Gopi.
and take these sannyas.
Was there more than what I said?
I mean, yeah,
So
it's a little.
you can say more.
It's just gonna be some repetition. No, just- ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. First of all, offering unlimited Dandavat pranams in the dust of the lotus feet of my worshipful Diksha Guru Devi Shishimati Shamrani Giri and Param Guru Devs Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narango Swami Maharaj and Shishil Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, our entire Rupanuga Guru Varga, and all assembled devotees. Pranams. So mainly I was going to focus on that pastime, the Gopi, 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 but still there's some things I can mention also. And when Yamuna was talking, thinking about the pastimes of Baby Nimai, I had two things that came to mind that I always think about in love, is that when Baby Nimai appeared, many strange phenomena was happening, of course, because this is Mahaprabhu. Like once they heard some prayers and hymns being chanted in the courtyard of Nimai, so they were very perplexed, Sachi Devi, thinking, it seems like there's great heavenly beings outside in our courtyard singing hymns, praising the Lord, and then so sweet. And then another pastime is he would run through the hallway, and they would hear ankle bells go ting, 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 ting. But he didn't wear ankle bells, so they were perplexed about that. And then as he got older, he was known as a great scholar, Nimai Pandit. And of course, there's many pastimes where he exhibited his unparalleled knowledge, of course, being the Supreme Personality, knowing everything in every circumstance everywhere. And he defeated the great Digvijay, Keshav Kashmiri, and other instances. But at some point he went and he took initiation from Ishwara Puri, but he already had this reputation as a great scholar. In fact, Navadvip was known as like the seat of learning. And so if anyone was going to proclaim themselves a great scholar, then they had to go to Navadvip to debate there and prove themselves. And so Keshav Karsari,
This is mine.
oh, I'm just doing very brief. Anyways, he was well known because he was well known because he had even defeated this great scholar who came there to establish himself. But then once he went and he took initiation, he started to externally exhibit very deep signs of devotion, ecstatic devotion to Krishna, and his reputation started to change a little bit, and people were a little confused about what was going. He was such a great logician, and then now he's kind of changing the way that he's speaking and presenting his information, and like he was teaching Sanskrit grammar, and then he started teaching the grammar that everything is in relationship to Krishna, and the students started to become a little confused. Why is he the word started getting around.
Didn't he first just want to quit altogether?
Yeah,
So they complained that I can't teach grammar anymore. I'm not interested. So they complained to Ganga Das Pandit, who is, want to continue?
no, you can tell it.
That please beg him to order him to keep teaching us grammar. So then he ordered him and then he agreed, but every single word he explained grammatically that word was Krishna. And he started them all in chanting Sankirtan.
Very nice. I remember it said somewhere that he said that without Krishna's potency, there can be nothing. Krishna's potency allows sound vibration and everything to happen. So without Krishna, there is no grammar. It doesn't even exist. It's so sweet. And then another instance was there was a complaint. A neighbor complained to Sachimata about all this stuff that was going on, and asked for a doctor to come and make a vat of oil, and so then Mahaprabhu could get in this, Nimai could get in this, and it would cool him off. And he got in the vat, and he just started swimming around and dunking in and chanting, and Srivas Pandit happened to show up, and she asked, oh, how is, Srivas asked Sachimata, oh, how is Nimai doing? And she said, actually, something very strange is happening, and people are complaining so much so that I even called a doctor, and he's in this vat now. You can go see him. And Srivas came, and he started laughing and was actually very moved by seeing these ecstatic symptoms. And then Nimai got sober and said, at least someone has understood me. And so what I've come to give it, Srivas, if you didn't understand what was going on, I might as well have just left because no one is understanding me. And so he kept going on like this, exhibiting his symptoms. And then there was this one very famous incident, like Guru Devi mentioned, where he was chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And he was very deeply absorbed. He was very deeply absorbed in chanting this Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And the great Brahmins, scholars who were his students, they came and they saw this and they thought, what is going on? He's chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And he started to explain to him, the Shastras, they say that chanting the name Krishna, you'll get much more benefit. And he's in complete devotional trance. And he said, who is this Krishna? He's a dacoit, he's a woman hunter. Get away from here. And he grabbed a stick and he started chasing him to kill him. And
Not
so,
to kill him. Beat him.
to eat him. I swear, so I read that somewhere. And so he went, actually, and it says that the Brahmin went to go directly to an assembly where there was 1,000 other Brahmins assembled there, and he explained what had happened, and they started kind of gossiping about it and criticizing it a lot, and started just speaking this incident anywhere and everywhere. So then Nimai was very distraught because he was thinking, now they're all going to start becoming very critical of me. And so this is when he got, at least externally, one of the reasons why he decided, let me take sannyas, because if I take the robe of a sannyasi, then at least they will pay respects to me, and then in this way they will purify themselves from their critical attitude. So then, like that, shortly after he went to go see Keshav Bharati. So, yeah.
Radhika asked,
Wait,
your,
I asked that because some, like in Shiva Samgan, there's like times where he's like in the mood of, yeah, like,
all right, so Radhika is asking, before he took sannyas, was he just in the mood of Krishna? So here's an example that shows that he wasn't. It's very rare when he would sit on the throne of Vishnu, and then all the devotees of the different incarnations would come and offer obeisances to him, and he would give them all Krishna prema. Because, yeah, it's very rare because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna combined. He is Krishna in the mood of Radhika. And he was always meditating on Astakaliya Lila, this eightfold pastimes is when he was in Navadvip. During each time of day, he would meditate on that time of day of Krishna Lila, but from her perspective. I'll try to find for tonight some examples.
but like when he was sporting in the Ganga and all the girls were there and he was like playing with them, in that time, he's like in a Naga mood, right?
No, he's not in a Naga mood.
He's not.
He's never in a Naga mood. Naga means he's the male beloved.
Yeah.
He was, and he wasn't telling, he was just joking around with the girls, saying, I am God.
Yeah.
So everything, all these bananas and everything, and the sugar sweets that you want to give to Lord Shiva, just give it to me. And then you'll get good husbands.
Right.
He wasn't being a Nagar. He was just joking around with them, saying, worship me. So they knew that he wasn't God. But just to play back, they gave him the sweets, because that's really what they thought he really wanted. And then they did get afraid when he said, I'll give you old husbands with 7 wives. If you don't give me the bananas. And when he told Akolaveja Sridhar, what was that?
Was that like his Krishna side
It's
coming
all
out?
joking.
That like joking, was that his Krishna side coming out?
There's always something there,
Something Krishna.
but it's all in joke. Yeah, good. Haridas, you're on.
Oh, right, that's his hands. Both will be there in one moment. I'm sorry.
Okay, next.
So.
I'm joking. Because Navadvip Leela is not different from Vrindavan Leela. And it's all Naravata Leela. It's all human-like pastimes. You know what I mean? Radhika?
ज्ञानतिमृन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय गौरपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी Namane. I offer my heartfelt obeisances unto my Diksha Guru Srila Bhaktivedanta Vangu Samaraj, my Shiksha Guru Shrimati Ramardide Haribol. So you're shaking your head, so I thought you were telling me to go quick.
I wasn't.
Oh, my bad. And to Lord Chaitanya, who's the Divine Appearance Day today. And so I'm going to do my best to tell this without looking at the book. Please forgive me if I make mistakes that I make along the way. This is the pastime.
Is okay, but you've been doing this for a couple of years now. You know, speaking on something.
So I'm going to speak of the pastime of Keshav or Kashmiri. And so I kind of like this. I like this pastime. It's like very. I was thinking of it. It's like a country western, almost like a rap battle they get into. You know, it's like this is a guy who walks through who's very learned. Keshav Kashmiri, he's like the learned scholar. He's the Digvijay. He's defeated all the scholars of the land. He walks from town to town, defeating one after the other, all by the blessings of his most beloved Saraswati. But this, just so you know, is not the complete Saraswati. There are two Saraswatis. Who knows the other one? And it's not the one on our wall. Srimati Radharani is the true Saraswati. This is the material Saraswati who's blessed to move his tongue. And so here goes into Nadia. And as we heard from Gadadhar, from Gadagraja. So we heard from Gadagraja. Nadia was the seat of learning in all of Bharatvesh. And the scholars there, Bharatvarsh. Many mistakes will be made by me. Bharatvarsh. And so here we are, Bharatvarsh, and the scholars, the older brahmanas, they might be shaking a little bit in their boots. They're not wearing boots since this is the 1500s in West Bengal. They might be shaking a little bit in their bare feet. And they say, you know what? If this Digvijay has defeated everybody, we don't want to be defeated by him. You know what would be great? That boy Nimai, still a little boy, not too young, but he's still a boy. If he defeats him, nobody's going to care. You know, it's totally cool. This Digvijay beats Nimai. Of course he can beat Nimai. He's just a boy. But if Nimai beats him, well, pretty good.
Then our town will be famous.
Then our town will be famous. So when the Digvijay comes, they say, Mr. Keshav Kashmiri here. They don't actually do this part, but
Don't make things up.
okay, I'm not going to make things up. So they send him along to Nimai. And Nimai is sitting by the banks of the Ganga teaching his students grammar. He's just a simple grammar teacher. In fact, when Keshav Kashmiri approaches him, Keshav Kashmiri says, I heard that you are the most learned scholar, and I am here. I don't think he actually says, I'm here to debate you. But he comes in with this mood and this attitude. He's Keshav Kashmiri, the most feared scholar in all the land. This is Nimai. Grammar. He's teaching grammar to a bunch of kids. They're sitting by the banks of the
You know,
river.
you can take 10 more minutes and making up your own extra lines.
Fine.
Or you can continue, and then your time will be up, or you can continue with the story.
Fine. And so he challenges him. Actually, he doesn't. I don't know if he directly challenges him, but Nimai takes a very humble position. Actually, he does challenge him because Nimai takes a humble position. Says, "I'm just a grammar teacher. What can I do? No, I'm not so learned in the Vedas. I know Sanskrit grammar." He says, and still regardless, Nimai says, "You know what? If you can, okay, speak about Ganga Devi for us." And Ganga, it's kind of like a low, like a softball. You know, this is man travels across all the land, speaking and composing poetry and verses on Vedic knowledge. I mean, the Ganga, that's like kind of be like right up his alley. Anyway, I'm not going to waste too much time. So, the Digvijay over the course of an hour, like not the blazing wind, maybe the blazing wind. The blazing wind doesn't seem, now we're talking about poetry. And so now it's one thing, the blazing wind, that's not a proper metaphor for the wind, but like a very fast wind. In the course of an hour, he recites.
Can you just read this?
You told me not to read. I told you I was going to speak.
I know, but
It's unfortunate.
you'll give a better program if you just read.
Okay. It was dusk, and as the sun was setting to the Ganga, its red rays playfully danced on her waves. The brilliant Nimai Pandit sat on the bank of the Ganga amongst a group of students, teaching them grammar. The sky was reddish, as if filled with anurag, and the atmosphere was serene. Seeing the students, Keshav Kashmiri, intoxicated with pride, came over to them. Nima's sweet voice was speaking excellent and logical statements on grammar and Navayanyaya, thus revealing his extraordinary brilliance. This attracted Keshav Kashmiri, who sat down amongst them, thus making some of the boys quite nervous. Keshav Kashmiri asked one boy, "What's this student's name?" The boy replied, "He's our Nimai Pandit." Merely hearing this name filled Keshav Kashmiri with fear. One of the boys whispered to Nimai's ears, "This is Keshav Kashmiri." Nimai Pandit turned to Keshav Kashmiri and spoke respectfully, "It is our good fortune that today you have come into our midst. We have heard of your glories. Please recite something for us." Keshav Kashmiri asked, "What subject matter would you like to hear about?" Nimai replied, "We would like to hear Sri Bhagavati Bhagirati's glories from your lips." Keshav Kashmiri immediately began reciting a shower of freshly composed verses adorned with alliteration and other literary ornaments. The students were stunned. Nimai Pandit then asked them to select just one of the verses he had recited to describe its virtues and faults. Keshav Kashmiri asked, "Which verse would you like me to describe?" Nimai Pandit immediately chose a verse from the middle of the poem. Seeing Nimai's capacity to hear something and at once commit it to memory, Keshav Kashmiri was struck with wonder and trembled within. Nonetheless, out of pride, he answered, "In Keshav Kashmiri's compositions, there is never any fault." He pointed out the verse's 5 virtues in regards to alliteration, and he also pointed out the other literary ornaments, which, speaking from doing my best to remember from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the five which Nimai Pandit calls out are, it has good use of the ta, alliteration in ta, ra, and ba in the first, second, and fourth lines, which, so you know this is actually a fault. Inconsistency, because the third line does not have alliterations, which Nimai calls out as well. Another virtue, a really nice virtue, is that he describes the waters of the Ganga as coming from the lotus, which Nimai points out could have actually been a fault, but because the Ganga comes from the lotus feet of the Lord Vamandev, he said this is actually a very beautiful metaphor referring to the Lord, so he gave him a nice golden star. And so Nimai Pandit, with humility and gravity, then pointed out these five more virtues. And he further pointed out 5 faults, and everyone was astounded. These 5 faults are great. The 5 faults are, there are 2 that fall into the category of referring to something, referring to the unknown before referring to the known, which in English is like kind of commonplace, but in Sanskrit is totally not okay. For example, he says something that's along the lines of like Vidya Shri Lakshmi, which means the second Shri Lakshmi, because this verse refers to Bhagirati Ganga as the second Shri Lakshmi. However, and this reminds me of another good use of words. However, Vidya, because the word Vidya, second, comes before Shri Lakshmi, the second thing that it is unknown. So it says the second, but because we don't know what it is second to, it is committing the fault of putting the unknown before the known. Make sense? Kind of? Okay. The actual glory of that part is when he says Shri Lakshmi. He says it could be taken as redundancy. I'm trying to think, actually, this is where he says it is redundant. No. It could be taken as redundancy, but in this case, it adds more flourish to Lakshmi. Am I right, or was that a fault?
I don't know that.
I don't remember.
Maybe you can tell us tonight.
Okay, anyway. And so, because there is a fault of redundancy in it, but I don't remember. No, it was the redundancy fault was somewhere else. And so, but I don't remember which fault the redundancy one was.
Okay, then what happened?
Then he also said, Bhavani Brator. Bhavani means the husband of Lord Shiva. Brator means husband. So he's saying that
Is it Bhavani or Bhavani?
Bhavani.
Bhavani.
Bhavani. And so it's saying the wife of the husband of Lord Shiva's wife, which to our English grammatical mirrors doesn't sound like terrible, but that's also because we don't have very good grammar for schooling, in my opinion. And so the thing is, by saying that, it sounds like sort of like Shiva's wife has another husband. Because why would somebody say the husband of Lord Shiva's wife? It's redundant. That's redundancy. It's redundant to say this is the husband of Lord Shiva's wife. It's as though saying, oh, go give money to the, this is from Prabhupada's purport. That's like saying, oh, go give money. Are you trying to just move me along?
I'm just going.
Oh, it's like saying, oh, go give money to the husband of the Brahman's wife. The husband of the Brahman's wife. It makes no sense. You could have just said, go give it to the Brahmin. Anyway. So that was another big major fault within this verse. So Keshav Kashmir's pride crushed and unable to respond, he returned to his quarters. That night, Mother Saraswati consoled him, saying, oh, also in the CC, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami reveals to us that as Keshav Kashmiri is hearing this, he imagines, oh my mother Saraswati must be in some way upset with me. And she herself has appeared on the tongue of this Nimai Pandit in order to correct me and in order to correct me. And Nimai Pandit actually says something to that effect as well. It's like, oh, the goddess Saraswati is speaking through me. But this is just, Keshav Kashmiri has that thought before Nimai says it. So that night, Mother Saraswati consoled him, saying, that person who defeated you is my master, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna himself. You are highly fortunate to have received his darshan. Fall at his feet and beg forgiveness. Early the next morning, Keshav Kashmiri met Nimai Pandit and fell at his feet begging forgiveness. Nimai Pandit instructed him, the purpose of scholarship is not to defeat others. Its only purpose is to worship Krishna. Go to Braj and worship him with a simple heart. Keshav Kashmiri offered his obeisances to Nimai Pandit and left. For Premanande.
Very good. Huh?
Didn't he have a dream in the middle of the night?
That was this.
How can I help you to defeat my husband?
Sorry.
It's okay. I
Good,
think I said it was a dream.
very dramatic, nice. I hope you do play now.
Illusion.
He's being illusion in a play called The Age of Color.
Actually, he's gonna be all the parts. He's gonna be less freak, anger, and illusion.
Madness.
Oh, I bet.
Okay.
Bob Brew.
Bob, you can-
Timbrandasya Anajana Shalakaya Chakshurme Tamyena
Mike, please,
Shri Rupe Namaha
loud.
Panchakalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I offer my Dandava pranams unto my Diksha and Shiksha gurus and unto Srimati Shamarani Thakurani and all the Vaishnavas. If anything good comes, it's by your mercy, and if anything bad comes from my mouth, it's my own fault, so please forgive me. I'm not going to be as animated as Haridas or Jamuna. They're both great
You're
storytellers, really. The two stories that I'm gonna talk about, the Leelas of Mahaprabhu, um, are about King Prataparudra and Kalidas, and the theme of both of these Leelas is humility. Of course, when we're thinking of humility of the Gaudiya, the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita is completely full of it. But these two stories stood out to me, so I wanted to share some things briefly on them. I'll start with the King Prataparudra pastimes. So recently, not connected with this, I actually did a little research on King Prataparudra. Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you don't, there's pastimes with him, of course, but you don't, it doesn't go into detail of what type of a king he was, like his more kingly duties. It talks more about his Vaishnav interests. And I'm just bringing this up because as a king, he was actually a great warrior, and I had no idea about this, but apparently he would fight very intensely with Muslims repeatedly to keep them away from Puri. And apparently he was one of the most powerful kings in all of India at that time. And as we know, the Muslims had uh, taken over large portions of India, including Bengal, and but the the place of Orissa was very protected by Maharaj Prataparudra, and I think it says dozens of times he had to fight Muslims from all areas around the kingdom. Um, so he was a fierce warrior, and but at the same time he had so much devotion and love for Jagannath. He always made sure everything was taken care of for Jagannath and the Vaishnavas. And when Mahaprabhu came, he became uh, very interested in meeting Mahaprabhu, and he was associating a lot with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And so when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took a turn towards Vaishnavism and devotion to Mahaprabhu, uh, King Prataparudra also became very uh, fixed on attaining the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and his faith in him that he's Krishna. So, but Mahaprabhu, as we know in other pastimes, he carried the perfect example of a renunciate and a sadhaka. And so he was very adamant about not having any audience with King Prataparudra. And so much so that it actually appears cruel sometimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He uses the words that the king is just a gross materialist, and I can't, as a sannyasi, I can't be around such people. I might as well just not be a sannyasi at all.
Can I just interrupt for a second? How many more speakers are there this morning? None other than 19? Okay, you're the last one. I just want to tell you something. This is not Navadvip anymore.
Oh,
We're on Navadvip.
Oh. No, it was any.
oh,
Navadvip forever. It's Navadvip past. Go ahead.
sorry, there's a misunderstanding.
Okay, go ahead.
Correct.
Yeah, I didn't give them that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. So, I'll skip forward, but anyway, after many, many attempts and many desires to all the associates of Mahaprabhu, the king was unsuccessful in attaining any sort of darshan with Mahaprabhu. And he could see, he saw him from afar during the Rath Yatra, but he couldn't speak with him, he couldn't intimately have a conversation or anything. So, but one time the king, this is very famous, is that he during the Rath Yatra he took up a broom and swept in front of Jagannath as they do to clean Jagannath's path, and this was a very humble position. It's the most humble we hear is that the sweeping of the street. It's a very dirty thing. It's like sudras do that or something. It's like a very low position. And so the king did this out of devotion for Jagannath, and Mahaprabhu's heart was melted.
No talking. No talking. Yes, go ahead.
Mahaprabhu's heart was melted so much by this humility of this king, and it appears very simple, just sweeping, but for a king to do that it's like very it's very humble for him, and that's something we have to keep in mind is sometimes qualities are manifesting differently according to someone's like status in life and their situation. And so anyway, he was very humble, and Mahaprabhu didn't admit this openly, but in brief, he made some arrangement where the king could enter the garden and actually massage Mahaprabhu's feet, which is obviously a very wonderful thing. So all of his desires were completely fulfilled by uh, by being so humble. And in one sense, one could say that humility made Mahaprabhu break his rules because it's so dear to him. And in this next, so that's it for that story. And both of these stories are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, so they're very wonderful. And the other one is Kalidas, who was a uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami, and he was a. There's some interesting statements about him in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says that he used to chant Hare Krishna and play dice in jest as like a joke, and he he was of a very high status, like a high Brahmin class, but he had this Leela specifically talks about his faith in the Vaishnavas, and very briefly, I highly recommend looking at reading this story. It's amazing. Prabhupada's purports in it are very wonderful. He talks a lot about like the Paramahansa vision of a devotee of like seeing all beings as superior to oneself. And so what he did was that he had so much faith in the Vaishnavas that specifically there's one story with Jadu Thakur, who was an associate of Mahaprabhu, and Jadu Thakur was a great exalted Vaishnava, but he was of a lower class than Kalidas. And so Kalidas wanted to serve him and bring him food, and Jadu Thakur was very protesting about this. He was thinking, no, this isn't right. I'm lower than you, and but Kalidas insisted, like, here, at least take some fruits. And so he gave him a mango, and they off Jadu Thakur, and then Kalidas left, and Jadu Thakur ate the mango. They offered it to Krishna, him and his wife, and then they took the prasad, and then they threw the pit in a ditch. And outside, Kalidas was waiting in the bushes.
Did he take before his wife or with his wife?
He took before, and Prabhupada, yeah, he does make it very clear. It says that he took the prasad by himself, and then his wife took it after.
Took his remnant.
Yeah, took his remnants, and then his wife threw it in the ditch.
Now we have her remnants too.
Yeah, both. So it's even more wonderful. And so she threw it, and then Kalidas got it, and he took the remnants like that, and he was in so much ecstatic love of God, taking the remnants. And so he did this all around Bengal, and it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that he did this exact scenario for as many Vaishnavas as there was in Bengal. And so it skips forward to a little bit to Mahaprabhu when he would go to take darshan of Jagannath. He would wash his feet and outside of the temple, and obviously this would be a very good situation for a devotee to take water. But his servant Govinda was very protective of that because Mahaprabhu didn't want this. He didn't want it was a very bad thing for Mahaprabhu.
He was also humble.
Yeah, they're very humble. So he really didn't like it. And so Govinda would stop people from taking the water. But one time Kalidas happened to be there by chance, of course chance, and he just extended his palm while Mahaprabhu was bathing his feet, and he drank 1, 2, and 3 full palmfuls of water. And it says that no one else was able to attain such favor of Mahaprabhu. No one else got that. And so it's a very very extreme thing, and Mahaprabhu, it's described that because of Kalidas's faith in the Vaishnavas, this is what enabled him to get such mercy from Mahaprabhu. So yeah, it's a great pastime that talks a lot of it. It's the 3 powerful things of the Vaishnava are the foot dust, water, and food remnants. So it's a great Leela.
Tomorrow, can you come back with the Bengali? The Bengali of that verse.
Oh, the three items? Sure.
Good for all of us to know.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Is this your debut?
No, I did the Jagannath Das Babaji.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Good work. Do you have any more, Asante?
Unless either of our 3, unless any,
Sarada?
no, unless Madhavi or another Acharya Yashoda wants to say anything.
What'd you say?
I'm not ready, but also what I was gonna tell wasn't a Navadvip pastime, but
It didn't need to
it
just,
still be
Yes,
nice.
yes, it does.
any Mahaprabhu, just any
I
Mahaprabhu,
also
any Gaura,
planned
any
to-
Mahaprabhu.
I also plan to speak non-Navadvip
Puri,
pastimes.
I mean, it's his
Have you heard Gurudev do that?
hotel Puri pastimes and
Do you have anything, Soda?
Navadvip pastime?
Or any pastime they're extending themselves?
No, I actually don't have anything yet, but I can come later. Yeah.
What exactly what is it that you want the
Navadvip pastimes of Mahaprabhu.
well, Mahaprabhu is eternally present, and I could just share something. When I came to the temple in 1976 in New York City, and there was a painting of Lord Chaitanya with the long hair like that, and that right away I wanted to know who this person is, and I wish I could be there dancing with the rest of them. And so I feel like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission of bringing these holy names, which is the only way, for salvation in Kali Yuga. So he's Patita Pavana, he's very merciful. So today is a great day to feel that, anything that connects you with Lord Chaitanya, who is the founder of this movement. Like sometimes I realize, this is the Hare Krishna movement. So I answer people, Hare Krishna, and everybody knows I'm a Hare Krishna. This is my good morning, because this is the Hare Krishna movement. And this is Lord Chaitanya's movement. So today we celebrate. This morning, I saw that full moon, and I say, oh Lord Chaitanya, I can imagine the beauty. that's why I came to the movement, attracted to Lord Chaitanya.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna.
So you're all leaving at, can you announce what's happening now? Haridas Prabhu?
We're going to FIU for Harinam Sankirtan.
Jai.
Is everyone going?
I besides everybody going.
Yeah, everyone who, yeah, why not?
Everybody.
One who's not.
Anyone who doesn't have any other seva for
One who's not like cooking or doing like a specific thing.
decorating.
We'll be
Jack
back for
You can take she wants to go.
Great.
Yeah, didn't we get like put back?
I have to go home, but she has.
Yeah, how much time do you need for flowers, Doug?
And we can use that.
We'll be back
Stop the stream.
before. Oh, I'll stop the stream.
So what time are you looking?
Especially if we go now, we
Eleven.
can leave at 1 and be back here about 1:30.